Hi guys, and welcome to Angling For You, and today you join me on another Lockdown 2 video, and you find me out on the bank in this beautiful venue of Lindholme Lakes, and we're on Bonsai Pond today, and I'm on peg 26, and hopefully we're going to catch a few fish. But the first video I'm going to film today is a little bit around my setup. Now, I've been asked about how I set certain parts of myself up in regard into what I'm fishing. Now, at the moment today I'm going to be fishing a feeder, so what we're going to do is go through my feeder setup and a few do's and don'ts, and a little bit about having certain things to hand and why it's important. So for this, what I will do is I'll pick the camera up and I'll walk around the box and I'll talk behind the camera, and then we'll come on and round the video off. So hopefully you enjoy, and let's flip to that and go through that setup. Right guys, obviously you can see that we're lucky enough to have a few bits of new gear which you guys have been seeing on the channel, so I'm going to go through it in regards to how I'm setting up for my feeder. So we're going to start at the end of the peg, and now you can see that we've got a pole roller set up over a landing net handle. Now this is something that I find really important, and if you're fishing a pole and you need both of them, it's always good to have maybe an inexpensive roller or something like that if you've got a peg where there's potentially muddy or rubble behind you, just so you don't chip and make marks on your landing net handle. That's just something that I do. I'm not saying that's imperative to what you want to do, but like I say in all my videos, I like to look after my gear, not only for the because I like to respect it because it costs money, but only in the fact that when you sell it, you're going to end up with more money if you've got good quality gear. So you can see obviously we've got this roller set up nicely, perfectly to hold the handle, and we've got a little support on the front which just allows us to hook on the net. Now I've got another one coming which is like a U-shaped one which will hold that a little bit better, but at the moment, as you all know, it's very difficult to get hold of things. So in regard to the box, you can see that it's as low as it possibly can get onto the floor. Now always start in that position. I'm lucky today the platform's fairly level, and it doesn't need much adjusting, but it's always essential to make sure that that is as low as possible to the ground before you start to do anything else. Now moving on from that, you can see I've got the rod which will go up in a little bit more detail in a couple of seconds, set nicely and perfectly to hand. When I sit on the box we'll go through that, but you can see obviously the side tray is straight to my side, as you would imagine, and everything is to hand. The bait that I've got, my bait system in front of me, all lidded in case of the rain. Obviously got on the umbrella to cover that, or if you've got a hooded tray or anything like that. And I've also got my phone straight to my hand, and a nice towel just to make sure if I've got any sort of bream, slime or anything like that, you've got it there and you can clean your hands, make it nice and easy. The main part of what I'm getting to is that having these things to hand, and it doesn't have to be as expensive or it doesn't have to be as much stuff as this, and just getting you sorted can make all the difference to your fishing. Let's just flip back to the box. We'll talk about how we've got the rod set, and we'll have a little look at how that makes a big difference. Right guys, so we're on the box, and first things you can see is that we're in a comfortable position. There's plenty of space for me to sit on. I've got nice leg room, nice feet room, and to my hand, right next to me, is the rod if I need to pick it up, which is really essential when you're fishing any venue really, but commercial especially, with the fact that you do get some whacking crazy bites sometimes, and that can obviously pull it off your rest. Now the rest that I've got on today is not favoured by everybody, and it's certainly something that I don't normally have. I normally have a U-bend style, just so it doesn't pull it out the rest. Now I have got one of those coming, but for today I've got it my hand straight to it, and I'm aiming for smaller fish and F1s, which typically this time of year is not so crazy. What you can see is that I've got that tip of that rod low to the water, and that's really important when you're setting up a feeder setup. Having that close to the water cuts out the wind, stops it from banging around and getting false indications, which is really, really important, especially this time of year when every bite counts and you don't want to miss out on any. Now, it's really simple it seems really simple to do that, but sometimes you just need to play about with the setup. So as you can see, I've got something that's called a feeder arm. They come in loads of different makes, brands, styles, price ranges, and you don't usually have to spend much more than 25 quid to 30 pounds to get one. Now, this one's just a matrix one. Like I say, you can get all sorts. Now, this may suit some people, it may not suit some people, and I say that in regards to a lot of the ones, and certainly a Preston one I used to have what they call a rake on it, where you could screw and unscrew and tilt the arm itself, and then still move it up and down on the leg as well. Now, they are really good systems, and this is just something that I thought I'd try new. And the difference between this is a fixed arm, and on the end is on a pole, and that moves up and down, and that's where your rake is. And then the angle of the butt rest that I've got to my right denotes the angle of which the rod sits at. Now, that's completely up to you and your preference of how you want to fish and how you feel that suits you the best. All I can say is get something that you feel comfortable and have it set up so you feel comfortable with it. And the most important thing is that you do have that rod set low. When you're fishing rivers and things like that, it's a little bit different, and you want your rod up higher, and that's to stop the tow on the top of the water. With your rods in a commercial, there's obviously not that kind of tow, but when you're fishing a bigger venue like maybe Benny's, which is over the other side of Lindholme, you can get a lot of wind, and that can give you those false bites. So do look at spending the time to set that up first. Now, as you can see, I've just moved that in regards to getting into the box, but as you can see, when I'm looking at how I've positioned things, if I need to get my landing net handle, I've got it there, I'm straight away for the fish, and then I can ship it back. I've got that roller that's rolling that, and it's nice and simple, and everything is just to hand. If I want my bait's here, it's straight away to my hand. If I wanted to throw any in, it's right here. If not, I wanted to fill my feeder, it's right here, and I don't have to move very far to get to it. Same as I've got some extra wafters, and the same as I've got my main bait tub, which has got pellets and things like that in it. Everything is to hand, everything makes sense, and nothing I have to get up and move to get. And that's important when fishing, certainly in matches, you need everything to hand. But even when a pleasure session, if you're getting up and down, you're making noise, you're making commotion, get yourself comfy, get yourself ready to catch and to be comfortable in where things are. Now, for me, this is the ideal setup, and if you're at home and you've just got a box and you've just got a side tray, that's absolutely fine. But just think about those little steps. I know everybody's eager when you get to a fishery. You want to get out, you want to start fishing, as do I. Get those little key points right first, and then you have no accidents if you don't put your side tray on and your bait falls in, and you've not got your box set up properly, you haven't tightened your legs properly. Things like that can end up spoiling your day. If you've got your phone on there and your box tips over and everything goes in the water and your car keys, you're going to have a pretty rubbish day. So those kind of little key points I look at before I even start fishing. I wouldn't even start to fish. Like now, I've messed about with the rake and the angle of my rod. I wouldn't even fish. I haven't cast it in, I haven't even clipped up yet before I've even set that up. That's the first thing that I wanted to do, is make sure that that's right. And that's around an inch off the top of the water, which is about right for today. And it's absolutely imperative that you get that right when you start, and you'll just have a better session. This is what this information is about. It's just getting yourself active and ready to catch fish. Even though it's cold at this time of year, we still want to have a good day's fishing. So hopefully this has been a quick little guide and a little help for you to get set up with a feeder setup, and you've seen what my setup is. We're going to be doing the actual feature itself, which will either be before or after this video has been up, and we'll go through the rigs, we'll go through how we're casting and where we're casting to, and hopefully we'll have some fish to show for it. So thank you very much for watching. If you join us on the Facebook group at Angling For You, join us on the Instagram angling_for you. If you want to check out us playlists, there's lots of features, there's lots of different reviews on products ranging from luggage to rods to poles, and hopefully you can find something there that can suit your needs. So until the next one, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Tight lines.